Hello, guys. Good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. This is an extra episode. This is kind of like a morning thoughts episode. That's what I call these. I've done my two reviews. So I decided to do this because I'm feeling not okay. Sometimes you're not okay. So time is around 2:45-ish, and I'm wearing my favorite watch. I'm wearing this a lot. The Casio version is very, very nice. Nice snug fit. I made it like that. And yeah, I'm enjoying the weather, but it's better. Enjoying weather means sometimes it's raining. It's not as bad as before. About 2 weeks back, we were burning literally like 48 degree, 50 degrees Celsius. That's what it felt like. But I think that extreme weather is for now gone. Maybe it will be back in May late or June, July. But anyway, apart from everything, sometimes I just think of stuff. So today I have few topics on mind. First, let's talk about a fragrance related topic. Then we'll go to life, my own life experience, and why I'm not feeling so good, and few topics, just normal brother to brother talk. First thing I'll talk about. Someone asked me, brother, nowadays the clones from Middle Eastern companies are so good. The differences are so minute, like they cannot tell apart which one is real, which one is fake. And at this point, do you think it's worth buying designer niche? And I did say myself that I feel designer fragrances are like nowadays so overrated and overpriced, and they are just literally charging $150, well over 100. Why? Yes, I understand everything, the cost of production, the tax, and then resources, the dollar rate, everything is causing it. But is it justified that the price will go almost double every month? Price of fragrance are going high. So yeah, I do not feel that like retail I want to buy anything at all. I do not buy anything retail. Okay. So the to answer his question, so is clone fragrances a better choice? Yes and no. I did answer this before. Yes in many aspect, no in many aspect. Yes in a sense that you're saving so much money. You can buy, let's say, a clone line, like let's say Tom Ford private blend. There are like 8 dupes in Mason Alhambra. You can get the whole line for price of one 50 ml of Tom Ford private blend. And you'd imagine, like, why would I get just one fragrance? Should I get like a whole 100 ml series? And you can get like 800 ml of juice. So you see the quality and quantity is not the same. Sometimes, yes, you get good value. Okay, when you get a dupe, if it's a good quality clone, you get good value, but doesn't mean you get a better fragrance. Okay, so you back in your head, tell yourself, let me be practical. Let me be not a douche. Let me not be bragging in a way that I am the most smartest guy and everybody else is fool. Okay, not everybody is a fool. People are richer than you. That's what is happening. And I accept it with grace. Where I am in my journey, I buy what I can afford. Very simple example is Casio. I can afford more than Casio. I can afford Seiko. I can afford Citizen. I can afford Tissot. But swatches, I can afford them. But if you talk about a Rolex, it doesn't go with me. Just give you an example. I drive a car. I bought a Nissan, and that's all I could afford for now. A second-hand car, old car. My car is 2008, and it has almost 20 years on it. So I am like, don't mind. My everything. The car looks very outdated, but I understand one thing, that God gave me this, and this is for time being. This is what I deserve. So I don't complain. I don't say that, hey, my car is better than your Range Rover. If I do that, what am I? You guys know that is, the reality. So if you drive like a nice truck and if you're happy with it, like say if you drive a Tundra, I think there's a truck called Tundra or Tundra in USA, massive. And then there are some Ford, huge trucks. Those are like my dream. I want to own those. Like I literally look up like, oh my God, lucky guys over there in States. So, it is all like, depending on your financial status. So are cheap fragrances better? No, sometimes they are not, because sometimes they give you allergies. Sometimes the ingredients used in there, very cheap quality ingredients, because it's a product of reverse engineering. Okay, they take an original perfume and then they reverse engineer, try to find out what are the notes used, and they can pinpoint make the exact same fragrance, almost smelling, but the quality ingredients is not going to be there. So in a way, you are getting a inferior quality product. Okay, so in that way, not better. Sometimes you do not get the best longevity. Sometimes the original is more beast mode, but at times it happens Middle Eastern dupes are stronger, longer lasting, but doesn't mean they're better. Okay, even big fart is very scary and sound like huge, but like a whole dump. If you see a dump somewhere, it smells very strong, but it's not good. You don't want that in your house, do you? So so it is always about no yes or constant answer. Sometimes yes, sometimes good value, sometimes the original is a better fragrance. So you have to make up your mind and what you can afford, right? So whatever you buy, be happy. Do not feel pain in your chest like, oh, I got something, I'm not happy with the product. If you're not happy with your clones, save up the money, wait for 1 year, and then buy your dream fragrance. Let's say Aventus, whatever it is. Okay, so that's my answer. So there's no such question, but nowadays, value wise, the distance is getting bigger and bigger. So it's making Arabian fragrance points stronger. So that's the fragrance related content. Second, I want to do, I discussed this. I don't know why I want to talk about this again, but living in a third world country, I am from here. I was born, yes, in Russia. Then I moved here when I was a kid. Then I lived here almost 17 years, I think, yeah. And then after finishing O levels, I moved to Malaysia. Totally different life. I grew up 2 decades here in Bangladesh, 2 decades there, 19 years in Malaysia. So what happened was I saw a developed country. Malaysia is now what I call developed country. Ours is a developing country, despite being in the same Asia region. But somewhere like 50 years back, Malaysia and Bangladesh was not far away from each other, economy-wise, population-wise. Now our population is huge. No birth control, nothing. People are getting poorer, poorer, and then jobless, crimes are increasing. So it's huge impact on the society. Is getting dirty everywhere. There's no park, there's no greenery. And I'll come to that, how it's coming to our, my topic. So what's happening is it's a very frustrating thing to live here in Bangladesh versus when you live in a country where you have your own house, own lawn, you just mow your lawn, your life, and then you have your own garden. People don't come inside your area. I mean, don't come means like don't enter, right? And then they don't disturb your privacy. They don't visit you without asking for like, are you free, make up appointments, stuff like that. So people maintain and respect your space. Here there's no such thing called space. Our one building to next building is literally 10 feet, and you can hear if someone is sneezing, you can hear someone is taking a leak, so it's not pleasant. So you hear people always talking loud on the phone. All the worst thing possible, you find it here. Of course there are good sides, because business wise Bangladesh is still good, where many other countries are taking a hit. People work so hard here, business is good. But but it's not always the money that makes everything better. It's not always better cars, better roads. No, it's the quality of life. When people are uneducated, they do not learn few things. One of the things is called manners. If you don't have manners, there's no difference between you and an animal. Animals I prefer because they are cute, they're innocent. Human beings are not. I sometimes prefer company of an animal. I rather sit with a dog. Sometimes I'm telling you, you to sound bad, but many of you feel that way. You don't want a child, you want a pet to accompany you. Why is that? Because we are ungrateful. There are a lot of things wrong with us, gone wrong with us, and we are constantly producing worse generations one after another. So I didn't produce any generation because I'm single. And the thing is, I think I'll keep it that way. You know why? Because when I see people nowadays, the manners, when you see people don't have manners, they don't know how to talk, and they waste so much of your time sometimes, and you don't allow that, they'll get mad at you, and their respect totally turns into something called disrespect. And I have faced this just yesterday. Let me give you the example of this guy. Okay. So I run a page, you guys know. I do decants since 2017 to support my channel because I don't have any sponsors. So I have to push myself. So it's lucky for me that there are many, many kind people in Bangladesh. This is the good side. People who are nice to respect me and love me and give me their support. Even though I review in English, many people don't like it in here. They say, why don't you do in Bengali? You should be proud. I say I'm very proud. Everybody is doing Bengali, but I want to reach international crowd. I want to reach international platform, which I did. And if I did in Bengali, I would never reach that. So I had different thing in mind. So I really feel I worked for me, first. Yes, there's no lying in that. I did not say I ever, I do represent Bangladesh, but I do not say I'm the only one who represent Bangladesh. And I'm the only one who put Bangladesh in the world map. No, no such thing. I worked for me. I wanted to be somewhere. I want to be recognized. I want to be reached someday. I came from middle class family. So there is not much of dream like some of you be thinking like, I want to go play golf. That's not on my mind. I can't afford to play golf. Okay, I have to work. So whole day I do something work related. We have a property growing. So I spend a little bit time there. I have to, because we're going to be moving there soon. So there's a lot of thing keeps me busy. So nowadays I do not like talking to people. I don't enjoy chit chatting with people for very long because it's idle. Just no point of talking. And some of people like chit chatting because maybe they are not doing any work. For them, they have plenty of enough time, like free time, and many people are not doing any work. So for them, they also assume the other people are always free. Let's say you ask someone like, could you come and collect your parcel, like something you're selling, and then you tell them like, they say I'll come at night. They come at midnight, and they don't even ask you if you're sleeping, if you're busy. They assume that you're free. Okay, see what's happening, so I'm getting to that point that people don't value time. Their time they don't value other people's time, and it is such a horrible thing to waste your life doing nothing. I believe in something. I believe this is my passion. I'm working. I found a line. 8, 10 years almost I'm working. I'm thinking to expand, and I want to start a business of perfumes, maybe trip to Dubai, and then set up like my brand, something like that. Because this is my ultimate dream. Or you can say goal. Like I will have my own company someday, stuff like that. So I did work because I like this. This is my work, and I have 50-50. I have love for money. I do like selling stuff, making money, buying something and reselling it. Yes, I enjoy that. At the same time, I do not buy something and keep it intact. Use it, and if I don't like it, I sell it off. If it doesn't do well, doesn't sell well, I sell it off. But I do open it. I enjoy the fragrance. Try to enjoy it. So what happens is like a lot of people assume that you are free all the time, and they knock you, and they take you for granted that you have to respond to them endless amount of time, like period of time. So this guy, recent times, he has been messaging for many weeks. He never buys anything from my page. He always asks like, oh, I I missed the deal, is this available? No. Oh, and he says I cannot afford this particular brand, so I want to buy this, partial from you. So fair enough. It's, so I have respect for people, whatever you collect. And he looks like he's from good family and all that, but unfortunately some people will never buy anything. They just want to waste your time. They ask you, where did you buy this watch? I even answer, okay, because I am trying to be the nice guy, despite being right now I'm not a very nice guy. I tend to be like, if you're genuinely a nice person and you're interested, if I'm free, I respond to you. But at one point, it will get tiring when you see that this guy is just killing your time, doing you no favors, and he's taking you for granted. He thinks you work for him. When you're running a community and people take you because when they have money, they think like they can do whatever. They can boss you around. They can give you a command, come and have coffee with me, come, go to shop with me. This is what lack of education does, lack of manners does, right? So yeah, and then imagine the worst thing is when you do not respond to them anymore, they come and say some horrible stuff. So they never ever actually respected you. They always want to use you, and they thought they'll be under your great grace. But once that doesn't happen, so people show their fangs, so it by now I'm supposed to be immune to that. Many of you say be stronger, but by nature people cannot change. People are who they are, right? I'm a very sensitive person. That's why nowadays, I'm always scared that people either waste my time, okay, a whole day, or something which I don't want to do. I rather rest. Resting is also important. So you relax, rest, you do your things, focus, plan. So you have this certain format. You do your decanting, you do your reviews, you do, posts end of the day, keep the community engaged. So that's what I've been doing. But doing this, people come to you and then they take you for granted. And if things don't go good, they just turn on you, right? So this is what's happening. So if you feel that you like this game and you're not doing anything, but you want to do something, you want to be a reviewer, you keep wondering all your life, 6 7 years, you always say Jeremy is bad, Joy is bad, Mark is bad, everybody sucks, but you never really came up with your own channel. You didn't have the courage to face the camera. Maybe you're using always this one guy. He's just unemployed guy. He just uses mother's account, fake account, always say bullshit in our channels and stuff. So end of the day, do not be jobless, because when you're jobless, you'll assume everybody else is jobless. And the thing is, you always spend time on things that are not important, and such a waste of life. When I am 43, maturity hits me and wisdom hits me. I feel our time, it's like, how do I say? It's like, our time is precious, okay? And, we cannot take things, we can pass any day, right? I'm lucky enough to make it until 43. Many young people didn't make it. So I'm always grateful to God. But you know I'm trying to remember this term, like our clock is something, like, anyway. So basically anytime we can pass. So within that time, like if you are young, you'll feel like I have whole life. You do not know, right? Because some bad things may happen to you, suddenly walking, you know tragedy happens. So as long as you're here, try to do something good, try to do something for family, so they can be proud of you. Do not be worthless. Do not be thinking like, like depending on your father money. I did that for a very long time. I will not lie. And in Malaysia, I did not have my own car. I mean, I did, but he paid for it, then I paid the installments and all that. But when I came here, facing the difficulty, all the stories that I told you, I'll finish it up now. I learned one thing: responsibilities, priorities, and how challenges and how bitterness, how unfortunate events, make you who you are today. So I'm still learning. Life is a learning curve, but I will just have a humble request: do not be jobless, do not be unemployed. As a man, especially, you can't afford to do it. Okay, you'll always think like, I need to do something. I need to burn some money, or I have to go. Like I always think sometimes, when I have no work, I think like I'll feel better buying a fragrance. I didn't need a fragrance. I needed a sale. I needed like some business. Where what did I do? I did the opposite. I spent my money and I got into more pressure and I got upset. So make sure those people who destroy your time and they take out hours and hours, even they can be your friends. Sometimes, I tell you one thing. I learned one thing in my life. Sometimes your best friends are like wolves. They follow you, but they don't have good intention. They always enjoy when you fall. They laugh and they always curse you and they always give you evil eye. If you don't believe in it, it's okay. But people curse at you. Sometimes you believe that, right? You're success. Sometimes you're successful. You're happy. You bought a nice something, and then just look at it, and then they just feel sad. Like let's say you're happy. Say, hey, I got silver play button. Some of you so sad. They can't be happy for you. So I learned so many times when I was unwell, I fell, I had an accident, something must have happened. Then I realized one thing: end of the day is a supreme power that decides everything. People have no control over our lives, but we have to learn from our mistakes. So choose your friends very carefully. Know what they're thinking. Sometimes if you observe how they say, well, stuff like that, they insult you, they are not your friends. Maybe you don't need friends, right? Nowadays I enjoy my company so much more than everything else. You guys know what I mean. So those who enjoy peaceful and quiet, I say lucky you, right? And value your time. Do something that really impresses you, motivates you, inspires you, and take it like your everyday, like a line of work. Do not do something, do not be stuck at somewhere wondering, I'm going to do this someday, but you never did it. That is just a waste of time. I'm so sorry to say, that is just not good, right? Have a nice day. Thanks for watching, and hopefully let me know what your thoughts on this. Take care. Bye bye.